We got more context to Gunther and Seth's issues. We'll also see the big change for Liv Morgan, the Judgment Day, and more. Starting things off with what's new for Seth Rollins and Gunther. This WrestleMania 42 match between Seth and Gunther was made official just a few weeks ago. And although fans were excited about the matchup itself, the one area that fans had a lot of questions about was the story department. Why did Gunther target Seth Rollins? Why did Gunther really put himself out there in harm's way for Paul Heyman? Well, the last 2 weeks have provided some more bits and pieces to that puzzle, especially on April 13th, where Gunther expanded way more on why Seth was a target to him. Gunther explained that he was pretty fed up with seeing Seth walk around for years like he's the best wrestler in the world, when all he's done was duck and hide from facing Gunther. Gunther brought up 2025 as one of the main examples for his point and argument. Gunther was the world heavyweight champion for a large chunk of that year. He opened up the year as world champion and then held the title up until when Jay won it in April at WrestleMania. And just a few short months after that, Gunther won the title back from Jay and then held it for several more months again, until dropping the title to CM Punk in August at SummerSlam. So, between those two 2025 title reigns, Gunther spent nearly a combined 6 months as world heavyweight champion. And what has Gunther so irate and pretty much offended is that throughout all of his time as world champion in 2025, Seth Rollins never once stepped up to the plate to challenge him and prove himself as being the best. Instead of doing that, Seth was just running around with Paul Heyman and the Vision, and avoiding Gunther at all costs throughout 2025. So that is why it seems like Gunther gets very bothered by Seth's claims of being the best. And Gunther doesn't really want to hear any of that talk after all that Seth did last year was avoid him. Even with the Money in the Bank cash-in from last year, Seth Rollins waited until Gunther was fully out of the picture and cashed in on CM Punk instead. So you can definitely see some of Gunther's points and what he was trying to say there. Gunther is saying that if Seth is really who he claims to be, he would have stepped up to Gunther at some point during either of those two world title reigns. And in a separate interview, Gunther did take a few jabs at how Seth Rollins faked an injury last year and the whole mess that created. It seems like that was something else that Gunther took offense to. You see, Gunther is a real old school type of talent, so he didn't really appreciate that fake injury by Seth Rollins and how that insulted the integrity of the business and what they do. So these are all the reasons why Gunther is claiming that this is a personal situation for him. Seth hasn't done anything directly wrong to Gunther in recent memory, but between hiding from him in 2025, the fake injury, and every other little scheme that Seth's been up to as of late, Gunther's just sick of it all. And that is why he picked this moment to finally put Seth Rollins in his place. So Gunther isn't directly doing this solely for Paul Heyman. Gunther made it clear that he's doing this for himself because of all those things that Seth has done lately that has really gotten under his skin from afar. That is why Gunther is so passionate about coming after Seth Rollins and taking him out. And for a last-second story and feud that was slapped together a few weeks before WrestleMania, it is a pretty decent story. Gunther perfectly explained his reasoning for coming after Seth, and it clicks. Seth doesn't really need to explain himself because obviously he is the one that got attacked and jumped, so he's just responding to what Gunther's done to him. So for a last-second feud, it's not bad at all. It's a very decent and respectable storyline there. Yeah, and of course, like we've been discussing since the Gunther and Seth program first kicked off, obviously there's bigger implications here. Gunther had made it clear that he is not working for Paul Heyman and how this is something that he's doing for himself. But we also heard Gunther say that Paul Heyman will owe him big time for this, and how Gunther's going to want more than just a simple thank you. That's where they've left things at right now between Gunther and Paul Heyman. But it appears very clear that Gunther's Paul Heyman favor will be in regards to a Brock Lesnar match of some sorts. It's extremely obvious, and it does seem like that's the route they're going with right there. Now, in order to keep that Paul Heyman favor storyline going, Gunther needs to take care of business with Seth Rollins. Gunther needs to win that feud against Seth, fully eliminate Seth as a problem for Paul Heyman, and then go back to Heyman to cash out that favor, which, as I said, everyone expects to be related to Brock Lesnar, especially with those hints that they've been showing on television lately. All signs point to Brock Lesnar's final ever opponent to be Gunther. So we can expect this current Gunther and Seth storyline to connect Gunther to Brock Lesnar, and we'll be seeing another retirement that will have Gunther coming out on the victorious side. So, after Gunther retires yet again, another major star, it's going to be interesting to see what he'll get up to after that Brock Lesnar match. Does Gunther stay on the path of hunting down retirement matches? Or does he start entering the world title picture again? Lots of possibilities there for Gunther, and it surely looks like the rest of 2026 is going to be another successful year for him. Liv Morgan's secret project that was hinted at a few weeks ago was finally revealed this week. And it was what a lot of fans guessed it would be. It was a music video. And not only a music video, but a fully released single by Liv Morgan that's titled Trouble. For Liv Morgan, she is a big fan of pop culture, several pop icons, and musicians. So this was a chance for her to tap into her music fandom and put her all into this music project. It's not just a song and music video that Liv Morgan did for fun. Michael Cole confirmed on Raw that Trouble will be Liv's actual new WWE theme music from this point onwards. So a brand new theme song for Liv Morgan that features her own vocals on the track. That itself is a pretty big accomplishment. Hasn't been many superstars in history that are featured on their own theme songs. Small list of wrestlers like Shawn Michaels, John Cena, R-Truth, Chris Jericho, Tyler Breeze, and a few others. Those are all individuals that have their own vocals on their entrance songs. And now, Liv Morgan's joining that group. Now, as far as things go with Liv Morgan inside the ring, 2026 is looking like it's going to be another great year for her. She started off the year by winning the Women's Royal Rumble match. She's been involved in this big world title program over the last few months, and she just shows no signs of slowing down right now. On top of everything with the Women's World title, Liv is still deeply involved with Raquel and Roxanne. Lots of questions there about who Liv can really trust and who may betray her. Can she really trust her longtime friend Raquel Rodriguez? Or will things start to go sour there? Similar idea for Roxanne Perez. Can Liv fully trust Roxanne? Or could that relationship turn sour as well? Remember that we still don't know how Roxanne feels about Liv's decision of kicking Finn out of the Judgment Day. Now, they've been hinting at the idea that Roxanne is not exactly on board with how Liv and the Judgment Day handled that situation. But they haven't really dug deep into this story quite yet. It'll probably be something that they start to touch on post-WrestleMania, so it is a story to watch out right there. But anyway, what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.